I never thought I'd be sitting here writing this. I used to think betrayal came in whispers and shadows. But when it happened to me, it came in handcuffs, headlines, and the eyes of my own daughter, filled with fear. This is not a short story. It's the unraveling of a life I spent years building, a family I loved, a home I worked for, and a name I tried to protect. And it all shattered because the people closest to me decided I was easier to destroy than defend. Let's start from the beginning. My name's Nate Dawson. I'm 36 now, but this all started when I was 32. I come from a large, complicated family rooted in a small town in northern Ohio. We were the picture-perfect working-class clan from the outside. 5 siblings, 1 overbearing mother, Lillian, and a father, Elliot, who worked at the same steel mill for 40 years and barely spoke a sentence longer than 5 words. I was the third child, the quiet, observant one. My siblings were loud, always competing for attention. Jack, the oldest, was the golden boy turned bitter. Tina, the second, was sharp-tongued and calculating. Derek, the fourth, was the charming slacker, and Amy, the youngest, was sweet but naive. I was the first to leave. I went to college, studied civil engineering, worked 2 jobs to get through it. I got a scholarship in my second year and never looked back. By 28, I was running a small but successful contracting firm. That's when I met Claire. She worked as a NICU nurse at a hospital in Columbus. Smart, compassionate, fierce when she needed to be. We met at a charity softball game, of all places. She teased me for striking out in front of children. I fell in love instantly. Within 2 years, we were married. A year later, our daughter Lena was born. For a while, everything felt right. Claire and I had a rhythm. We bought a house in a quiet suburb, just a 40-minute drive from my hometown. Enough space for Lena to play and for Claire to garden like she always dreamed. Weekends were movie nights and play dates. Claire worked 3 to 4 days a week at the hospital, and I handled site visits, estimates, and project planning. We were stable, safe, happy. When Lena turned 4, we decided to reconnect with my family more often. I wanted her to know her grandparents, her uncles and aunts. I thought maybe enough time had passed. I was wrong. From the start, the visits felt off. My siblings never outright said anything, but there were always comments. Jack.
Not bad for a college boy, huh?
Tina.
Your wife always looks so put together. Must be nice to have time for that.
Derek.
Contracting must be a sweet gig if you're pulling in that kind of cash.
Even Mum wasn't subtle.
Don't forget where you came from, Nathaniel. You were raised to be humble.
That last one came when I offered to help them redo the roof after a storm damaged it. I offered for free. Somehow that was seen as me showing off. Still, Claire insisted we keep trying.
They're family,
She said.
they'll come around.
A week before my arrest, we threw a barbecue at our place. Claire went all out, grilled chicken, homemade potato salad, even a bounce house for the kids. The tension was there, simmering just beneath the surface. Jack drank too much and started arguing with Derek about a loan. Tina kept giving Claire side eyes every time she mentioned work. Then Jack made a comment in front of everyone.
It's funny how Nate gets to play boss now. You always wanted to be the one on top, didn't you?
Everyone laughed, but it was cold. That night, Claire said something I didn't want to admit.
I think they hate seeing you happy.
I told her she was overthinking it. I wish I'd listened. It was a Thursday morning. Claire had just left for her shift. I was in the kitchen feeding Lena, who was halfway through a bowl of cereal and more interested in drawing faces in the milk than actually eating. Then there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find 2 uniformed officers flanking a plainclothes detective.
Nathaniel Dawson,
Yes.
you're under arrest for grand larceny, conspiracy to commit fraud, and possession of stolen property.
At first, I laughed. I thought it was a prank. But then I saw the handcuffs. The detective showed me a warrant. Lena was crying. I didn't even get to grab my coat. They read me my rights as I stood barefoot on my own porch. The neighbours peeked through blinds. This has to be a mistake. I've done nothing wrong. You've got the wrong guy." The detective didn't even blink.
The evidence says otherwise.
Claire came home from her shift early because a nurse friend saw the squad car outside our house and called her. She pulled into the driveway, still in her scrubs, mascara smudged, and screamed when she saw me in the back of the car.
This is some mistake, right? Nate didn't do anything.
The officers ignored her. I was driven off like a common criminal. The accusations were horrifying. Apparently, I had created multiple fake housing contracts under my business's name. I supposedly signed people up for high-end renovations, collected their deposits, and then ghosted them. Over $70,000 had been stolen. The evidence? Contracts, signed papers, emails, a bank account with my name, set up just a month earlier, which had received most of the money. Except none of it was me. The email address used was one letter off from mine. The signature was similar but not quite, and the account used a fake ID with my photo, but a wrong birthday. Claire sat across from me during my bail hearing. She held my hand but didn't say a word. Her eyes were red, puffy. I was let out on bail after 3 days, thanks to our savings and Lena's college fund. Not a single call from my family, not even to ask if it was true. Claire tried calling my mum. She didn't answer. Tina blocked me on everything. Jack posted a vague Facebook status. "Guess you never really know who people are." I started investigating on my own. I knew I was being set up. I combed through everything. I remembered the week I was supposedly signing these contracts. I was in Chicago at a construction expo. I checked my cloud login history. Someone had accessed my account from my mother's house. That's when it clicked. I confronted Claire. I told her what I found.
Nate, you can't seriously think your own family would do this to you.
"Claire, it's them. Who else had access to my personal info, my credentials?" She looked torn. For the first time in our marriage, there was a wall between us. I confronted Mum. She feigned ignorance, told me to stop causing drama. Jack and Tina ghosted me completely. Derek denied everything. But I knew. I could see it in their eyes the last time we all met. They knew I was innocent. They just didn't care, because they hated that I had made it out. And now they were trying to drag me back down. Claire moved in with her sister temporarily. Lena cried every time I said goodbye over video call. My business was ruined overnight. Clients cancelled projects. My reputation was shredded. No one defended me. No one stood by me. But I will not let them win. I'm working with a lawyer. I have a private investigator digging through their finances. I have screenshots. I have login records. I have witnesses who remember where I was during the transactions. They think I'll just disappear. They think I'll crumble. But they forgot who I am. I built my life from the ground up once. And I'll do it again. Update. It's been 18 months. I promised an update. I just didn't think it would take this long. But when your entire life burns down around you, rebuilding it brick by brick takes time. This is the story of how I rose from the ashes. Of how truth, though buried under lies, still claws its way back into the light. And of how betrayal became the fuel I used to take back my life. Let's get into it. After my last post, I doubled down. I hired a P I named Marcus, ex-FBI. The guy was a bloodhound. He started pulling financials, IP traces, and surveillance logs. The first major break came 2 months in. He tracked down a disposable laptop purchased under Derek's girlfriend's name, used at my mother's house, the same IP that accessed my email and fake business contracts. The timestamps matched the emails sent to clients I supposedly scammed. Then Marcus got a lead on a bank teller who remembered Jack withdrawing cash from the fraudulent account. She confirmed he used a fake ID and remembered him joking about renovating a lie. Marcus compiled everything. IP addresses linked to my mother's home. Surveillance from the bank. The timeline of my alibi, confirmed via hotel logins and conference badges in Chicago. Derek's girlfriend's involvement. She cracked and confessed when Marcus spooked her with legal jargon. It was airtight. I brought the whole package to my lawyer. We refiled with the DA and submitted a motion for dismissal of all charges. A hearing was scheduled. Claire showed up. She sat in the back holding Lena's hand. When the judge saw the evidence and heard the PI's statement, he dismissed the charges on the spot. I wasn't just found not guilty, I was exonerated. But the damage, that's something no gavel can fix. Claire was crying after court.
I didn't know what to believe. Everything pointed to you. They were so sure. Your own family.
You were supposed to be sure. That was your job, Claire. We tried to talk, but too much had passed. She wasn't malicious, just weak. We finalised our divorce 6 months ago. We agreed on 50-50 custody, and Lena stays with me every other week. She's doing better now. Still asks questions, but she laughs more again. I made a promise to never let her doubt her worth, even if the world turns on her, because I know what that feels like. My business was dead, but I wasn't. Marcus referred me to a client in Denver looking for a lead engineer for a major infrastructure project. I moved, started fresh, different city, new people, new reputation. I'm now the regional project director for one of the largest eco-housing firms in the Midwest. I bought a condo with a view of the mountains and a playroom just for Lena. I go hiking every weekend, I eat better, I sleep deeper, I laugh again. I also met someone. Her name's Elena. She's a marketing consultant, has this sarcastic wit, and laughs with her whole body. She knows my whole story. I told her everything on our third date.
Damn. Most guys just say they got ghosted once.
We've been together almost 8 months now. She and Lena get along so well it almost breaks me. About 3 months after my exoneration, the text started. Jack.
Let's put the past behind us. We were all confused.
Tina.
You know Mum's been sick. She misses you.
Mum.
Families fight. That doesn't mean we stop being family.
Derek.
No hard feelings, yeah? I was just following Jack's lead.
I didn't reply to a single one. When I didn't respond, Jack tried calling Elena after finding her through my LinkedIn. Told her we should reunite as a family. She blocked him immediately. Then came the kicker. They sent a letter, handwritten, asking if they could visit Denver to talk and mentioned maybe joining your firm now that things are good again. I laughed, genuinely laughed. I sent them back a single postcard. I hope you find peace, but not in my world. Lena and I just found out we're expecting. A boy. When I told Lena she was going to be a big sister, she gasped and said, I'm going to teach him how to not be a poophead. Parenting win. We're already planning the nursery. And yeah, I've updated my will and my trust. My kids will inherit everything. And the people who betrayed me, they're ghosts now. What I learned from all this? Betrayal teaches you who you are. You don't know your strength until you've been ripped apart. Blood doesn't mean loyalty. DNA is chance. Family is choice. You don't owe closure to people who burned the bridge. Forgiveness is optional. Peace is mandatory. Never stop fighting for your truth, even when you stand alone. I'm launching a non-profit next year that provides legal and investigative resources for wrongfully accused individuals. No one should face what I did alone. And someday, when Lena and my son are old enough, I'll tell them this story, not to scare them, but to empower them, to remind them that darkness only wins when you stop walking toward the light. So to everyone who reached out, supported, and even just read my story, thank you. I survived, and I'm living proof that even after the worst betrayal, you can rise.